Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I will be designing this landing page using Bootstrap 5. So let's see what we have in this design. So at the top we have navigation and call to action button and a logo on the left side. And then we have this subscription form. And after that we have this background image with the parallax effect. Okay, so after that we have the services section. After the services section, we have the feature section. Okay, and after the features, we have the team section. After the team, we have the reviews section. Okay, and the blog section. And finally, a footer. So I will be designing this from the very beginning and make sure to watch the video from the start to the end. And this is completely responsive. So without further any ado, let's dive into the video. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a folder. I'm gonna name this Landex YT. Okay, so I'm gonna copy the images that I have used in this final project. And I'm gonna open this and create a new folder. Inside this, I'm gonna create another folder. And I'm gonna paste the images right here. Okay, so now I'm gonna open VS Code. And I'm gonna drag this folder here. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new file, index.html. Okay, so inside this asset folder, I'm going to create another folder for the CSS and one for the JavaScript. Inside the CSS, I'm going to create a new file. This will be style.css, and inside the JavaScript folder, I'm going to create a new file. This will be main.js. Okay, so that's it for now. So I'm going to visit to the Bootstrap website and I'm going to click on the docs. And I'm going to copy this link. Okay. And I'm going to open this index.html file and I'm going to type HTML. Okay. And I'm going to rename the title to Landex Bootstrap Landing Page. Okay. And here I'm going to create a link tag and I'm going to paste the link right here that I have copied from the Bootstrap. Okay, and then I'm gonna copy this this JavaScript link. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it right here. Okay, so then I'm gonna visit to the Google Fonts website and I'm gonna search for plus Jakarta Sans. So this is the font that I have used. So I'm gonna click on this and I'm gonna select 400 5, 6, 7 and 8. Then I'm going to click on the import. I'm going to copy this and inside this CSS file style.css I'm going to paste it. Okay, so I'm going to link to that file asset css style.css and also I'm going to link to the main.js file. Okay, so then I'm gonna visit to the remixicon.com website. So I have used this icon pack. So I'm gonna click on the get started. Okay, then I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna copy this link. Copied, and I'm gonna paste the link right here. Okay, and after that I'm gonna visit to this link, Animate On Scroll. Okay, and then I'm gonna click on this cat. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna copy this link. So this is the CSS. Okay, and here I'm gonna paste that. Okay, then I'm gonna scroll, then I'm gonna copy this link. Oops, I'm gonna copy this. Yeah, I'm gonna paste it right here. Okay, so I'm gonna open that file. Okay, so I'm gonna open the style.css file. Okay, so I'm gonna create some custom properties. Okay, the first one will be color bg1, color dark. Oops, I'm going to create another variable. This will be bg2, and I'm going to create another one for color brand. Okay, so this will be your brand color. I'm going to create another one, color brand light. Okay, and okay, so I'm going to create another color border. Okay, so this will be the border color, and I'm going to create another variable for font main plus Jakarta Sans. Okay, and I'm going to create another for border radius. Okay, so I think that's it for now. And I'm going to reset some of the properties. So I'm going to give a background color BG1, and so I'm going to create another one for the text, body text. Okay, so this will be the body color. Color body and font family, font man. Okay. Okay, so then I'm going to select all the headings. I'm going to give a font weight 700. Okay, and I'm going to change the color to white. I'm going to create another variable for color heading. And then I'm going to select anchor tag. I'm going to give a transition. Okay, I'm going to remove the text decoration on hover. I'm going to change the color to the brand color. Okay, and then I'm going to select the image tag. All the image will cover 100% space. Okay, and then I'm gonna select the section tag. I'm gonna give a padding top 120 pixel, padding bottom 120 pixel. Okay, so that's it for the reset. Okay, so I'm gonna visit to the Bootstrap and I'm gonna get the navigation bar, copy it, and I'm gonna remove this text and container. I'm gonna create a comment and I'm gonna paste that right here. Okay, so I'm gonna remove the BG light from the navigation. So I'm gonna save it and let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna add another class. This will be Navbar dark. Okay, so I'm gonna remove the float. Okay, so we have some space now. Okay, and I'm gonna put an image here. Okay, and I'm gonna push this navigation item to the right side. I'm gonna add a class margin start auto. Okay, and I'm gonna rename these text for the navigation item. This will be home and it will go to the home section. Okay, so we have these nav links and I'm gonna put a button here. So here I'm gonna create a button. I'm gonna give a class button brand and the text will be start free trial. So this will be a call to action button. Okay, so let's design the navigation. So I'm gonna select the navigation bar and I give a background color. Okay, and okay, then I'm gonna design this button. I'm gonna select the button. I'm gonna give a padding top and bottom 12 pixel, left and right 24. Okay, then I'm gonna select the button brand class. I'm gonna change the background color to brand color, change the text color to this dark color. Okay, and I'm gonna give a font weight 700. Give a border radius 100 pixel. Okay, looking great. And on hover, I'm gonna change the background color. So I'm gonna select button brand. On hover, background color will be brand light color. Okay, and I'm gonna give a border color will be this light color as well. Text color will be the dark color. Okay, looking nice. So I want to give some space between the navigation links and the button. So I'm gonna select this button. I'm gonna add a class margin start, which means from the left side. On large devices and above will be 3 rem. Okay, And I'm gonna add another class. I'm gonna give a padding top and bottom 3 rem as well to the navigation, and I'm gonna add a class sticky top. Okay, I'm gonna add a comment. This will be about. I'm gonna create a section. I'm gonna give ID about, and here I'm gonna create a container. Inside this container, I'm gonna create a row. Then I'm gonna create column LG 10. Okay, and I'm gonna put heading 1, and I'm gonna copy the text. Okay, and then I'm gonna visit to the Bootstrap website, input group. Yeah, I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna copy this one. Okay, and I'm gonna paste it right here, save it, and let me refresh the page. Okay, so I'm gonna add a class justify content center. Okay, and text align center as well. Okay, and I'm gonna add a class display for. Okay, and I'm gonna I'm gonna copy this. Okay, this input field. Okay, here I'm gonna create a row class, and I'm gonna add a class column LG add. I'm gonna paste that inside this. Okay, and I want to this form to be in the center, so I'm gonna add a class justify content center. Okay, so now this is not covering like the whole space. Okay, add a class. I'm gonna remove this, and I'm gonna add a class button brand to subscribe. Okay, so I'm gonna design this section. I'm gonna remove this margin bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna select about. Okay, then I'm gonna select heading 1, and I'm gonna give a font weight 800. Okay, then I'm gonna select about paragraph. I'm gonna give a maximum width, let's say 600 pixel. Okay, I'm gonna give a margin from the top and bottom is going to be 32 pixel, left and right auto. Let's give it a 24. Okay, and I'm gonna give a line height to the body, increase the line height to 1.7. Okay, looking great. Okay, then I'm gonna select about input group. I'm gonna give a background color BG color 2. I'm gonna give a padding, let's say 12 pixel. Okay, I'm gonna give a border radius, let's say 100 pixel. Okay, then I'm gonna select about input group, the button. I'm gonna give a border radius 100 pixel. Okay, and then I'm gonna select about form control. I'm going to remove the background color to background color transparent, and I'm going to remove the border color as well. Okay, on focus, I'm going to remove the shadow. I'm going to remove the box shadow to none. Save it. Okay, and I'm going to change the color. So form control color will be the body color. Okay, looking great. Okay, and then I'm gonna put another div, and I'm gonna give a class bgimage. Okay, then I'm gonna select that class bgimage. I'm gonna give a minimum height 450 pixel. Okay, I'm gonna change the background image. I'm gonna select the cover one. Okay, and I'm gonna set the background position to center and background size to cover. Okay, save it. And then I'm gonna add another property, background attachment. Background attachment fixed. Save it. So we have this parallax effect. Okay, so I'm gonna give some space between the image and this form. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select input group this, and I'm gonna give margin bottom 120 pixel. Okay, so we have some space now. It is looking nice. Okay, great. So after this, I'm going to design this services section. Create another comment. This will be services. I'm going to create a container, and inside this container, I'm going to create a row. Okay, column 12. Okay, and here I'm going to create section title, services, and I'm going to put h1. I'm going to copy the text. Okay, and I'm going to paste it right here. Then I'm going to copy this text. And I'm going to paste it right here. Save it and let me refresh the page. Okay, so I'm going to design this. I'm going to select the section title class. I'm going to give a margin bottom 40 pixel. Then I'm going to select section title. I'm going to select h6. I'm going to give a background color, brand color. Okay, and I'm going to give a padding as well. 6 add pixel top and bottom, and 16 pixel left and right. Okay, and I'm going to give a border radius. Okay, and I'm going to change the text color to the dark color. And I'm going to give another property, display and line block. Okay. Then I'm going to select section title paragraph. I'm going to give a maximum width 600 pixel. Okay, or 700. Okay, and I'm gonna decrease the font size for the H6. Give, let's say, 14 pixel, and let's may give a font weight 800. Okay, I want the text to be in the center, text center. Okay, and then I'm gonna select this paragraph. I'm gonna give a class margin left and right auto. Okay, and from the top I'm gonna give margin top 4 rem or 3. Okay, looking great. And I'm going to remove the padding from this about us section. So we have this padding. So I'm going to add a class padding bottom 0. Okay, so we don't have that much space now. Okay, so I'm going to design the services. So I'm going to go to the remix icon website and I'm going to search for ruler. Copy this and I'm going to create another row. I'm going to create a column LG4 and another column, sorry, class SM6. Okay, so here I'm going to create a class service. Inside this class, I'm going to create another class icon box and I'm going to paste the icon here. Okay, then I'm going to put H5. This will be the title. And I'm going to copy the text from this finish project. Okay, I'm going to save it. Okay, then I'm going to refresh the page. Okay, so I'm going to select this service. I'm going to give a padding 4 rem. Okay, then I'm going to select the service class. I'm going to give a border radius. Okay, I'm going to give a background color PG2 color. Okay, then I'm going to select icon box class. I'm going to give a width, let's say 64 pixel, height 64 pixel, display and line flex, align item center and justify content center. And I'm going to give a border color, background color, sorry. This will be white color and the opacity will be 0.1. I'm going to save it. Okay, and I'm going to give a border radius 100 pixel. And I'm going to increase the font size to, let's say, 44 pixel. 34. And I'm going to change the color for the text to white. Okay, I'm going to adjust the spacing. So I'm going to increase the size to 74. Okay, and I'm going to select H5. I'm going to give a margin top 4 rem and margin bottom 3 rem. Okay, looking great. So I'm going to duplicate this section, this class. I'm going to give some space between these classes, these services. I'm going to type GY4. Okay, so I'm going to change the icon for the rest of the others. Then we have this feature section. So I'm going to design the feature section. So for that, I'm going to create another section. I'm gonna give an ID features. So inside this row, I'm gonna put a column LG5. Okay, so on the first column, there will be this text, and on the right column, this will be that image. So I'm gonna copy the intro title. Okay, I'm gonna copy this, and here I'm gonna paste that. I'm gonna save it, and let me refresh the page. Okay, I'm gonna copy that text from the finished project, and I'm gonna paste it right here, and this will be heading 2. Then I'm gonna create an on-order list item, and I'm gonna put icon box class. Then I'm gonna search for check, and I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna paste it right here. Okay, I'm gonna copy the text. Okay, and I'm gonna duplicate this. Okay, so I'm gonna refresh the page. Okay, so I'm gonna adjust the spacing between these list item. So then I'm gonna create a comment for the features, and I'm gonna give a class feature list. Okay, I'm gonna select feature list. I'm gonna remove the padding. Okay, I'm gonna remove the bullet point as well. List style to none, and then I'm gonna add a class to the icon box. This will be SM. I'm gonna select the icon box SM class. I'm gonna give a width 32 pixel, height 32 pixel, and font size 24 pixel. Save it. Okay, I'm gonna select this list item. I'm gonna give a class display flex, align item center, align item. Okay, I'm gonna select this icon box, and I'm gonna give margin int 3 rem, or let's say, yeah, 3 rem is looking great, and I'm gonna give some space. I'm gonna select the feature. I'm gonna select this list item, margin top 4 rem, no, 2 rem, yeah, 2 rem, 2 is looking great. And here I'm gonna give some space 3 rem from the top. Okay, looking great. So I'm gonna put another class column LG6. Okay, I'm gonna put that image. This will be feature 1. Okay, and I want the space to be between on the large devices, but when the screen size is getting smaller, so as you can see, I want the image to be on the top and the text to be in the bottom. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the text column. So I'm going to type order on LG first. Okay, order last. Okay, save it. So as you can see, the image is now on the top and the text is at the bottom. Okay, so looking great, and I'm gonna give some space. So I'm gonna give gutter top and bottom for him. Okay, so we have some space now. So I'm gonna select this image. I'm gonna give a class rounded 5. Okay, looking great. Then I'm gonna select this row, duplicate this, and I'm gonna remove this. Okay, and I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna change the image. This will be feature 2. Save it. Okay, and I'm gonna copy the first row. Okay, and I'm gonna paste it right here. So I'm gonna give some space between these features row. So I'm gonna select features ID, then I'm gonna select the row. I'm gonna give a margin top. Let me give it a space 80 pixel. Save it and refresh. So we have some space now. Okay, and so as you can see on the finished project, we have this divider. So I'm gonna add that as well. So I'm gonna select the services section. I'm gonna give a class border bottom. Okay, and I'm gonna change the color for that. Border bottom 1 pixel solid. Okay, save it. So I'm gonna override that by important. Okay, and I'm gonna remove the margin top from the first row. So I'm gonna select the feature section. So this is the first row. I'm gonna type margin top 0. Okay, looking nice. I'm gonna design the team section. So I'm gonna create a comment. I'm gonna create a section and I'm gonna give an ID team. I'm gonna create a column LG4. Sorry, this will be 3. I'm gonna put image. This will be person 1. I'm gonna create H5. This will be the person name. UI designer. And I'm gonna put a div, and I'm gonna give a class social icons. Okay, and here I'm gonna create an anchor tag, and I'm gonna give a class icon box, and I'm gonna visit to the remix icon. I'm gonna search for Twitter, so I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna paste it right here. I'm going to copy this. Save it and let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna rename the second one, which will be Instagram. Okay, so I want the text to be in the center. Okay, and I'm gonna give padding 4 and I'm gonna remove the padding top to 0. Okay, then I'm gonna add a class to this. This will be rounded circle. Okay, so I'm gonna put the intro title. So I forgot to do that, so I'm gonna copy this intro title. Okay, so I'm going to refresh the page. So looking great. So I'm going to design this team section, and I'm going to add another class to this icon box, social icon. Okay, so I'm going to select the team member. I'm going to give a position relative. Okay, and then I'm going to select social icons. I'm going to give a width 32 pixel, height 32 pixel, font size 20 pixel. Okay, I'm gonna increase this to 38. Okay, looking great. Then I'm gonna select team member the image, and I'm gonna give a maximum width 180 pixel, height 180 pixel. Okay, and I'm gonna give some space, margin top 4 Okay, then I'm gonna select the team member class. Before, I'm gonna give a width 100%, height 100%, background color bg2, position absolute, from the left 0, from the bottom 0. Save it. Okay, and I'm gonna give a z index -1. Okay, so as you can see on the finished project, this pseudo element is not covering like the whole height. So I'm gonna select the height, calculate 100%, and I'm gonna subtract. So the image height is 180, so 180 divided by 2 is 90 pixel. Save it and refresh. So okay, looking nice. So I'm gonna duplicate this team section. This will be person 4, 3. To save it and refresh. Okay, so now I'm going to design this review section. I'm going to create a comment. This will be reviews. Inside this section, I'm going to create a container. And inside this container, I'm going to visit to the Bootstrap website. I'm going to click on the docs and I'm going to search for carousel. And I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to paste it right here. This will be reviews carousel. I'm going to select this. I'm going to give a maximum width 700 pixel and I'm going to give a background color dark color. Okay, and I'm going to give this section an ID. This will be reviews. And I'm going to give a background image. Images, and I'm going to select the reviews image. I'm going to give a background position to center and background size, cover, background attachment fixed, save it and refresh. Okay, and I'm going to give a margin auto, so I'm going to give a margin auto, so I want this to be in this center. It's like this. So I'm going to design the this review section. So I'm going to remove this last one. Okay, so I'm going to add another class. This will be the review. I'm going to put an image. This will be person1 for now. I'm going to put paragraph. So I'm going to copy the text, paste it, and I'm going to paste it here as well. Okay, then I'm gonna type the name of the person. So I'm gonna copy this. So I'm gonna put H6. So not H6, this will be small. So I'm gonna type UX designer, save it. And I'm gonna refresh the page. Okay, and I want the text to be in this center, so I'm gonna add a class to the container text center. Okay, so I'm gonna design the review. I'm gonna select the review class and I'm gonna select the image. I'm gonna give a width 65 pixel. Okay, and I'm gonna give border radius 100 pixel. So I'm gonna give some padding to the review padding. Let's say let me give it a 60 pixel padding. Okay, so why we have this space? Let me see. Review. Okay, so this will be inside the review, so I'm gonna remove this one for now. This will be inside the review. Okay, so I'm gonna save it and refresh. So I'm gonna give some padding here, padding 5 frame. Okay, and I'm gonna adjust the spacing, so I'm gonna give a margin top, let's say 4 and margin bottom 4 as well. Okay, so then I'm gonna select these carousel arrows. So I'm gonna select this. So as you can see on the finished project, we have the carousel on the left and right side. So I'm gonna select that. So this is the previous and this is the next one. I'm gonna give a margin auto. Okay, and I'm gonna give a width 40 pixel. Okay, then I'm gonna select these two on hover. I'm gonna change the background color to the brand color. Okay, so as you can see, and I'm gonna give a border left to the border right, 1 pixel solid border color. I'm gonna copy this. This will be the next border left. Save it and refresh. So as you can see, we have this border. So I'm gonna copy this carousel item. Save it, and I'm gonna remove this active. I'm gonna change the image. Okay, looking great. Okay, so after this we have this block section, so I'm gonna design the block section. Okay, so I'm gonna create a section. Okay, so I'm gonna paste, so I have pasted the intro title, so this will be blog. Okay, so I'm gonna design the block section, so I'm gonna create another row. LG4 blog post. Okay, I'm gonna put an image. So I'm gonna put cover 1. Okay, H5. So I'm gonna copy that blog post title. Okay, and then I'm gonna put anchor tag here. Read more, save it and refresh. So I'm gonna change the anchor color. Body color. Okay, so I'm gonna adjust the spacing. So I'm gonna wrap this inside a div. I'm gonna give a class blog post content. Okay, and I'm gonna give padding, let's say 4 and I'm gonna select paragraph, margin top and bottom 3 Okay, great. So I'm gonna select the blog post. I'm gonna give a border radius, and I'm gonna give a background color BG2. Then I'm gonna select blog post image. I'm gonna give a border top left radius and border top right radius. Okay, save it. Okay, looking great. So I'm gonna increase the line height for this blog post title. Blog post title. Line height 1.4. Okay, looking great. So I'm gonna duplicate this. This will be cover 2, 3. Okay, great. So I'm gonna put the image below this blog post section. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this PG image and I'm gonna paste it right here. Okay, so I'm gonna change the image for this one. So I'm gonna give BG image 2. Okay, and I'm gonna design the footer. I'm gonna create a footer top class where I'm gonna create a container, create a row, column LG4. So on the first, on this column, I'm gonna put the logo. Logo light. Okay, and then I'm gonna create another column LG2 H5. This will be services. UX design. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this. Contact us. So this will be contact us. Okay, save it and let me refresh the page. Okay, so I'm gonna select this UL. I'm gonna give a padding 0, remove the padding. List style, so And I'm going to remove the padding from this one as well, padding 0. Okay, and I'm going to duplicate this. This will be follow us. So I'm going to duplicate this. Save it and refresh. So I want this the logo and this content to be on the left and right side. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select the first this column, and I'm gonna type margin start auto. Okay, so that's it for the footer. Then I'm gonna footer top. I'm gonna create another class footer bottom, column auto. So I'm gonna remove the margin bottom from the paragraph. So I'm gonna copy this row, class, and I'm gonna paste it, and I'm gonna copy this text. Okay, save it and refresh. So this will be inside the container. Okay, so I'm gonna add justify content between. So this will be on the left and right side. So I'm gonna design this footer section. I'm gonna select the footer. Okay, and I'm gonna give a padding top. Let's say 80 pixel. Then I'm gonna select footer UL. I'm going to remove the less style to none. Okay, then I'm going to select footer bot top. I'm going to give a padding bottom 30 pixel, and I'm going to give a border bottom 1 pixel solid border color. I'm going to select footer bottom. I'm going to give a padding top 30 pixel, padding bottom 30 pixel. Okay, looking great. So I'm going to select the logo image. I'm going to give a width 150 pixel, 160. Okay, so this will go to the about. Services, features, team, reviews, blog. Okay. So I'm gonna visit to the Animate On Scroll website. Okay, then click on this cat, and I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna visit to the main.js file, and I'm gonna paste it here. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna save it, and let me copy this fade up. So I'm gonna select this and I'm gonna save it, and let's see if it is working or not. So as you can see, so I'm gonna reduce the speed to something like 700. Okay, 700 is looking, so I'm gonna set this to 500. So you can play with these values, so you can change the offset or delay, duration, etc. So I'm gonna leave that up to you if you want to. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this. So I'm gonna select the services, fade up, and I'm gonna select this one, and I'm gonna give a delay to this one, data OS delay. I'm gonna give a delay 300 millisecond. So I'm gonna copy this, delay 600. So I'm gonna remove the delay from this one, 3 and 6. Save it and let's see. This should be AOS. So refresh. So I'm gonna add this to this section, intro section. Okay, great. So I'm gonna select the feature and I'm gonna select this first column. I'm gonna remove the delay. I'm gonna select the image column and I'm gonna give a delay 300 millisecond. And I'm gonna do this for the rest of the others. So I'm gonna save it and refresh. Okay, and I'm gonna do this for the team section. Save it and refresh. Oops. I'm gonna do this for the blog section. I'm gonna save it and let's see. Okay, looking great. So let's see the responsiveness. Okay, so let me see the responsiveness. Okay, looking great. So I'm gonna give some space between the team section. So I'm gonna select the team section row. Okay, I'm gonna give GY4 rem. Okay, and I'm gonna select this class and I'm gonna type column sm6, save it. Okay, looking fine. Okay guys, so you can see this is responsive. So I'm gonna adjust the space between these footer columns. So I'm gonna select footer top. I'm gonna give GY for M. Okay. And also I'm gonna select this. Okay, looking great. Awesome. So this link should be active. So when I enter into this services section, and just like we have in this finished project. So as you can see, this link is now active. Features. So I'm gonna go to the Bootstrap and I'm gonna search for Scrollspy. Okay, and then I'm gonna click data attribute. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it right here, and I'm gonna target the navigation bar class, save it, and let's see. Okay, so as you can see, this is active, and you can change the color for the active class. So I'm gonna copy this and here I'm gonna paste it. I'm gonna change the color, the brand color, save it. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. So if you have enjoyed the video, make sure to like, and yeah, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.